Hey, JG, just give me a sense. I mean, obviously, not really a short turnaround, but you get to face a Dallas team that's been playing pretty well at this point in time. What's the difference with their defense the last 3 games as opposed to the first 6?
Yeah, they're playing really well since the bye. They're playing with a lot of energy. They're playing hard. They're playing fast, flying around. Defense is getting better, it seems, every week. And Coach Eberflus got a lot of respect for him and his scheme. And so we'll have to put in some work this week and come out ready to go.
What's the difficulty of having 2 all Pro Bowl caliber defensive tackles in the center? What's the biggest challenge for an
Hard to plan for just one of them. You got to kind of plan for both of them. They're going to be on opposite sides of the ball typically. And, you'd love to be able to say, we're just going to run away from Quinnen, and then you're running right into Kenny, and vice versa. You want to run away from Kenny, and you got to run into Quinnen. So, there's challenges there, but we've got guys up front that we know can handle that and do that job.
To what extent does this feel like a must-win game? I mean, you guys all said it after the loss to Green Bay. You guys have kind of put yourself in a little bit of a hole. Yeah,
sure. I mean, they all feel that way, and they will feel that way from here on out. The last 5 will all feel must-win, and you say that, but there's a lot of things that can happen, and of course you want to win every game, and we want to win this one. This one's very important, and certainly it's an NFC opponent, a team that's in the playoff hunt, just like we are, and so it's a very important one, and we want to win.
We know the connection that you and Frank had over the years. Just how much of a roller coaster has this situation with him been?
Not as much of a roller coaster as it seems outside. I was excited to get him back there for a couple of days, and then obviously fell through with the physical stuff. But he's doing well. I'm happy. He's happy, and in a good place.
We know a lot about his toughness. Can you even fathom how somebody would have a grade 3 hamstring injury and not really know it?
Yeah, his pain tolerance is pretty high. So he's a special dude.
How do you feel like it went with Tristan first game?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. His communication was good. His in and out of the huddle he was good with me on the sidelines, talking through all the stuff, and I thought he did a great job.
All right, Aidan, just give me a sense of what it's like this turnaround. Quickly, obviously, you've got a good Dallas team coming in here, and one that is making a push toward the playoffs as well.
Yeah, we have a great opportunity in front of us to bounce back, and we're all looking forward to Thursday. And I think these coaches are going to have us ready. We got to execute the game plan, go out there, play with a lot of energy, and I'm confident in our ability to bounce back, though.
They've scored a lot of points, second most in the league. What makes that offense so efficient, dangerous?
Yeah, I mean, they have a ton of playmakers, ton of good skill players. Dak's playing at a high level. We got to go out there and we're going to have our hands full. But I think we have all the guys we need to succeed in this building, and everyone believes that. We just got to go out there and execute.
Which I know the pass rush is paramount every week, especially this week against that team, that quarterback, those receivers. Just how do you ensure you guys aren't just getting pressure but getting home on Thursday night?
Yeah, we just got to finish the plays that that come to us, and that's ultimately the biggest thing. I feel like last game things just weren't quite aligning. You just need the rush needs to be right. Everything needs to be right for that sack to happen, especially with mobile quarterbacks. So definitely D-line. We got to affect the game on Thursday for sure if we want to win.
You guys went back and watched the film from last Thursday. What did you like? What did you dislike about your guys' performance?
As a defense?
Yeah. Defensive line in particular.
Defensive line, I think that there was opportunities there, and I thought for the most part we were getting him off the spot and affecting him, but some of those, Liam went free and I wasn't high enough and he squirted out, and then me and Tyleek both went high on it. It was just stuff that felt like it wasn't quite aligning, and a lot of the times when you're rushing fast and playing fast as a D-line, these things kind of just work out, and but it wasn't quite happening for us last game. So we're really putting an emphasis on communication and just kind of togetherness, because really that's ultimately, I've been a part of some really good D-lines, and when that energy is there, it's like you feel like you could do no wrong. If you're going really high, your boy's going to make you right, whatever. But I think we just got to get back to being on the same page, and a lot of that production would be there.
Have you noticed a different level of urgency within this team after that last loss? Have anybody came in and done anything different, or just what did you notice from that last game? as you enter in this final stretch?
Yeah, I mean, look, we have 5 games left for the regular season, I believe, and we're at a point where it is, there's some adversity for sure. And, we call ourselves a gritty team. It's all over this building. It's what people say about us, but I think it's easy to be gritty when you're winning games and it's all sunshine and rainbows. But in these moments, when you're coming off a bad loss to a divisional opponent on Thanksgiving, it's just obviously none of us want that result. How can we come together and still make this season worthy of being remembered, And that's going to be the biggest thing, is taking it week by week. And that's how we attack it, is taking it week by week. And obviously Dallas we're putting 100% focus into this game, and that's kind of the mindset.
How do you manage the challenge of, maybe upping the urgency a little bit, but not playing, not pressing too hard, not playing out of your discipline and things like that?
There's definitely a balance between trying to make plays and forcing it, but I think, it all comes down to doing your job and executing, the role that you've been given. And sometimes if that means getting out of the system, you will. But I think for the most part, if we just stay gap sound, we do our job, we wreak havoc on the quarterback, we just got to do our job.
Hutch, what kind of emphasis is there to get this team right within this building before you even look to Dallas?
Can you say it one more time?
Yeah,
get
what
this team right?
Yeah, to fix what's here, what you need to fix before you can even look towards Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the self-scouting is for the past 2 games that we kind of got to do a little bit. Obviously, we couldn't, coming off the short week, we couldn't talk too much about the Giants game, but I think watching that tape was good for us. But again, I think we know we have the talent in this building, so it's just a matter of everybody just doing it on Sundays, and executing at a high level, and we know we're capable of that. I mean, this obviously last year was very successful, a lot of wins. This year it's a little bit different, but I still think we can accomplish everything we want to, and everything's still right in front of us if we just focus on this next one.
Has Tully given you any grief over what happened over the weekend?
Oh, yeah, right. He has a little bit. And, they earned it, man. They earned it. I'm happy for him. And that's that. We're moving on.
You're happy for him?
If it could put a smile on his face, it's my teammate. Want him to be happy. Yeah, man. It's just moving on to next year.
You really handed them a tough one last year in their building, and then the crazy one, of course, in 23. Just give me a sense of where they are this season, what's been so effective for them the last 3 games that they've won.
They on the road this year. Offensively, they seem to be clicking with George, CD, and Dak. But not only them, their running game is a big part of why they clicking too.
Dan talked about just discipline, fundamentals, that kind of stuff being kind of his message to the defense. You guys have given up some plays in the passing game. Obviously, this is a dangerous team coming. What do you guys have to do this week to clean up maybe some of those little things and the explosive plays you're allowing in the passing game?
Just get back to our roots and discipline and stuff. That's really, we beat ourselves, and literally. So, it's nothing too much about the other teams, what they do. It's all about us. And if we, hold into our crafts and disciplined, then, we're going to be all right.
Clearly, the margin for error is shrinking just a little bit with this team right now after that loss last week. But give me a sense, is that something that you put in your minds or just try to put to the back page and, as you said, just stick to our own game?
Yeah, it's not a time for panic. I feel like everybody outside of the organization is panicking. But as long as we play our game, we're going to be fine.
Kirby, it sounds like, is getting a little bit closer to coming back. Just what that would mean for you guys defensively.
That would be a huge part. Everybody know Kirby. Kirby go get that ball, and that's something that we need for him to go get that ball. So adding that back to our defense, it would be huge.
What about the job Thomas has done, though, stepping in the last 6 games?
Sure, he's done everything the coaches asked him to do. It's almost like a mini curb out there. If you see him, if you really watch, people really watch the game of football instead of just, watching highlights. you see like Hart, like he's playing the post like as good as there could be, and you know, as long as you just keep on doing that, he'll be fine.
When you come to a week when St. Brown not practicing, does your role change at all? Is there anything more that's on your plate with one of your top teammates down?
You know, we're not really certain on what we're gonna do right now. You know, we just focus on what we can do, and you know, looking at how we could attack Dallas. That's our main thing right now. You know, we just putting the pieces together and looking to get back on the winning track.
What do you think you proved? Maybe not to yourself, you probably already knew, but to people outside, you know, what you could be as maybe a number one receiver, go-to type receiver last week.
I don't know what I proved. You know, I don't really look into, you know, me proving people wrong. You know, people gonna think what they want to think, regardless of what you do or what you don't do. So, you know, I just go out there and do my job the best I could do it.
Can you explain how you were used differently?
You know, I just got more opportunities. That was it.
Do you think that was an opportunity, you know, last week just to be able to kind of formulate that chemistry with you and Goff?
We already had chemistry. I don't want to get too into that, you know what I'm saying, just because I got the ball more that we worked on our chemistry. No, it was just part of the game. We already had chemistry. And like I said, I just executed on the opportunities. I should have did it more. You know, we came out with a loss, and, you know, what I did don't even matter because we lost.
I know we talked this year a little bit about, you know, kind of how like your game is involved, route tree, that sort of thing. But last week, were you running routes, you know, as a number one instead of?
No, it's routes I've been running. I run a lot of the same routes as everybody else on this team, but people say I just go deep. I guess that's what they just see on the, you know. But I run the same routes as everybody else. We all run the same routes, different concepts. We all get thrown in different positions and things like that. So we get a chance to run a lot of the same routes as, you know, our other guys on the team.
When you get the ball in your hands, are you immediately looking for just the quickest way to the end zone? Or
Yeah, I know most of the times whether when I catch the ball if I got space or not. So if I got space, I know it's like a 99.999% chance I score. But, you know, if it's not, then I try to make a move and go score. So, you know, my mindset on catching it is scoring. Like, yeah.
We obviously see the speed that gets you there, but I mean, like, do you feel like your vision is underrated, or is it at least grown?
I kind of, you know, going out there, lining up. I see what defenses they in, so I really kind of know where people are. Sitting down on routes, running through zones, and, you know, playing against man coverage. I kind of know where the defender is or they are when I catch the ball to, you know, try to attack them and attack the soft spots in the zones and things like that. So, you know, I kind of got a feel of where they be at, and, you know, I just move off of that after I get the ball in my hands.
Is that something you pick up over time, like just a feel for the game?
Nah, I think that's something like that just come with, you know, being talented, a ball player. That's something I've been doing since I was a little kid, you know, getting the ball and scoring. You don't change pretty much. You just do the same thing growing up.
All right, so it's yesterday, but have you noticed the increased level of urgency to really try to get this next one, especially after that loss on Thanksgiving? What's the urgency level been like around the team this week?
It's the same, you know. I would say we treat every game the same, but now like we got more urgency to, you know, win these last games, winning out in the season, and, you know, do our job and, you know, get in the playoffs and do our thing.
What do you see from their secondary? Their defense really, I guess, since they made those additions?
When we seen these guys two of my 3 or 4 years in the league, so, you know, we seen these guys before and know what they can do, and know these DB's tendencies. So, you know, we know how to attack them. But that's a huge shout out to the coaches. They put in extra work for us and tell us what they see, and we do extra work too. And we go back and forth with the coaches and plan, and, you know, find ways to attack these guys. We got a lot of ways to attack them, and, you know, Thursday should be a good day on the offensive side.
And just to follow up on that, like, do you consider this a must-win? I mean, just kind of given where you guys are in the playoff standings.
Yeah, I don't even know where we at. We don't look at playoff standings. You know, I just look at wins, losses, the weaker we play. So, you know, right now, my mind and everybody in the locker room mind is on Thursday night, Dallas Cowboys. We focusing on getting the win and, you know, getting back on track.
It's a Thursday night game, prime time. overtime game. Do you feel like that brings out something special in you too? Big plays.
Yeah, I look at every game like that though, but when I see the prime time, everybody always want to come up to you and say everybody's watching and this and that. Everybody watching every day, no matter what move we make. So I look at it the same. I just try to play ball and make the most plays as I can while I'm out there with my number card and the opportunity is given to me.
Especially with you, Brad, Western.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like the Cowboys might get Diggs back. What does he bring to their secondary?
Great player. He's a ball hawk. I love his game. But right now I'm just focused on us and what we can do and how we could come back on top, come out on top.
One last question about last week. Came up with Johnny Morton today. That pass, that fourth down pass from Goff is behind you. Hit your hands. Do you consider it a drop? How do you? Is that one that you can?
Yeah, that's a drop. It's a drop. That's why I really did all that after the play. No matter where the ball is at, as a receiver, you got to make plays, and the blame don't go on the quarterback. It go on us, and that's not even like putting it down on my quarterback. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying it's my fault because I dropped the ball. He gave me an opportunity. I just got to make the best of the opportunity and move the sticks for us. I move the sticks right there. It could be a whole different game changer for us.
We saw the emotion in you after the play. You tell how much that meant to you.
Yeah. It was a big play to me. No matter what happened in the game before that, you just got to look at the play right now. And, I just got to make the best of that play and bring that one in for us, man.
But I would also say that they got a bunch of guys who play really hard and do a good job what they're executing and asking them to do, blocking, tackling. So it's a challenge for us going in this game. We got to play well, obviously, help our team win.
Sorry, his role is expanding a little bit on offense. Has that done anything to his special teams role? Like, is he fair catch?
Yeah, no, he's doing the same stuff,
From the Packers game, obviously not the result that we wanted, not only as a team but as a defense. Whenever we leave a game and we're not able to pull out a victory, I initially look into that mirror and say, what could I have done better? And giving up, I told Dan, giving up 31 points is unacceptable. And that's any week. And I know each week you go in and out of these games, each week is played differently. It's going to dictate the way you have to call the game, the way you have to play the game. And that day we needed to hold them under 24, and we obviously didn't do that. A number of reasons, but probably the most disappointing things that transpired in the game, you go back to some of the critical things that came up. Some of those fourth downs, they were 50% on third down, but you look at fourth down, they were 3 for 3. That's now becoming a common theme on fourth down. I told the defense to where we're at the point of attack to make the play, and for some strange reason this year, we're not making that play. That's something that we're going to have to flip the switch on, and I mean right now. And then outside of that, we had a play where we had 10 guys on the field, and they got a 13-yard explosive run. They finished the day with 125, 4.2 average. And their longest run of the day was a simple day one training camp swap inside zone where we didn't really hammer the ball back and fit it correctly. That went for 29. Another 14 on a jet sweep. And then a 13-yarder with 10 people on the field in the gap where the player should have been. That's totally unacceptable, and that starts with me. It's not players, not an assistant coach. That starts with me. And then the most critical is the 3rd and 7 down in the red zone where we had 12 people on the field. And that's never been an issue here, and it won't be moving forward. Totally unacceptable. In my opinion, that's a 4-point swing. And the way Dan's able to call that game without that touchdown being there is completely different. So I put a lot of that loss on me as the defensive coordinator and on us as a defensive unit. Those things have been addressed. The players taking full accountability. It's the reason I enjoy coaching this room so much, and we're moving on to Dallas.
Shep, one of the things that we've seen the last couple games, at least some explosive plays in the pass game.
Yep.
Are you affecting the quarterback enough, in your opinion, to play the kind of style that you want to play in the back end?
I don't think we've affected the quarterback to play any style these last couple of weeks. I don't care what kind of style we want to play. And the guys understand that. And again, that starts with me. I'm not going to just point the finger. You got to win a one-on-one. Yeah, no. Yeah, you got to win one-on-ones in this league. But I also got to find ways to try to maximize what we do have to our disposal and put these guys in optimal position to be able to win, give them tools to win. I told the room it's our job to eliminate any gray, any hesitation in play, and it's their job to go out and execute. And that's coach to player, player to player on the field. So no, obviously we haven't affected the quarterback at the rate that we were earlier in the year. There's things that we're going to switch up a little bit by personnel, by schematically. But at the end of the day, you start to get in November, December, players make plays. Just like when I stood up here and we were limiting people to 10 points, 16 points, all this, and people were talking about us like we're the 85 Bears. I never said anything about it being some type of guru schematics. It's the players that's going out and executing and making that happen. And it's no different when we don't play so good. The players have to take accountability to that. I got to start with me and say, what could I have done differently? And if guys are at the point of attack, if you have a one-on-one, you have to win those in this realm where we're at in this part of the season.
Both the 10 and the 12. Obviously a focus every week, but especially this week against that offense, that quarterback, those receivers. Yeah. Just how do you ensure that you're converting those pressures into sacks?
Like I said, just finishing. It's a lot of too close almost happening still in November going into now December where that's absolutely won't be tolerated. Being close isn't good enough. You have to make that play, and that's coverage and rush. They marry each other. There's no dominant defensive secondary in this league without a good pass rush. There's no good pass rush without some type of coverage happening on the back end. So the guys understand that, and we have to find a way to mesh and gel those at the highest level this week against one of the top, if not the top offense in the NFL right now.
With both the 10 and the 12, I don't know if this was the case, but it seemed like the cornerback rotation was involved. I don't know if that was the case, but if it was, is there something that has to be fixed with that, or how much did that contribute to some of those?
No, that's elementary, to be honest with you. And it's totally inexcusable to have 10, to have 12, to have 13. 11 on 11 football. I mean, I started playing it when I was 5 years old. And it was simple as this. When I was 6 years old, I knew if I ran on the field, somebody should be running off. It doesn't come down to, the packages. No. If I run on, somebody should run off. Let's use common sense and make sure that doesn't happen again.
Shep, we know Hutchinson's ability and the attention he commands. Micah commands that kind of attention. Myles Garrett commands that kind of attention. They're getting home a little bit more right now. What does Aidan have to do more despite the attention he's drawing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what other people's doing in their facility, or you start to play this comparable game. We can go down that line with media members. That guy in New York's writing better report than guys here. Like, no, man. No, we're not going to play that game. What I know is I have a high-level player, one of the best, if not the best, edge rushers in this league. He knows, just like we know, people are going to plan for him. That's why he is one of the best, and he has to combat that. But it isn't a one-man show. Other people have to win. And I'm not just talking about Hutch. I'm not just talking about Mac. I thought Mac was a very impactful rusher in the middle all Thanksgiving Day. But it just can't be those two guys. When your name is called, if you draw one-on-one, you have to win in this league if you want to be around. And it's just simple as that.
Outside of just emphasizing them in meetings, what can you do to help force more turnovers?
To force more turnovers? When the first thing first, when we do get the ops and the ball is out, we got to come up with it. We had a chance for a huge play down in the red zone when DJ Reed made a phenomenal job right there in the tight red, and he got the ball out on a little double slant concept they had going, and DJ Reed got the ball out. We got to find a way to get that ball. And I don't care about it taking a bad bounce back turn. When those balls are out, they have to be yards at this point in the year, and just continue to do what they've done. What I don't want is players trying to reach and go out of their realm of their responsibility to make a play. The plays will come to you all year. That's how it's been happening. It hasn't been anybody doing anything heroic. The plays come to you, and when you have those options, you have to make them. It's simple as that.
How is Kirby doing mentally? He deleted all his social media here overnight, and just obviously the injury is something that's been wearing on him. How's he?
Kirby's doing great. He's ready to get back. He was as upbeat as I've ever seen him last week, leading in the week, knowing that he's scratching and clawing. Hopefully it's a chance we get him back pretty soon here. But Kirby's good, man.
arguably one of the best receiving duos in the league, and Pickens and Lamb. Just when you watch them on tape, how are they different players? How do they complement each other? What's the task this week of trying to defend two guys on the outside who are so dynamic?
Yeah, these guys are two of the top in the league, the top of the top echelon. And what do they do different? I mean, they both run the whole route tree. The only thing I would say that's really different is the physical nature in which George Pickens presents himself on the field. Huge catch radius, very physical at the point of attack, wheels himself open, whereas CD, man, he'll sink them hips, he'll come in and out of them, he'll put you in a blender if you're not right with your leverage, if you don't understand what you're doing. So they do a really good job keeping them apart as well. And what I mean by that, on opposite sides, which means you have to cover the whole field. You rarely see them together, and that's good. Shotty's doing an outstanding job. They have some of the top personnel in the league, and I told the defense, we're exactly where we want to be. Like, and that might sound crazy, but in my opinion, we're exactly where we want to be. You could say backs against the wall. What I see is a great opportunity with everything. When we started this year, we had goals and aspirations. All those goals and aspirations still lie ahead of us, but now it's just a more sense of urgency, which it always should have been. But sometimes it's human nature. You need a little nudge. You need a little reminder of where you've been instead of where you're at or where you think you're old, if you're owed something. We just need a little reminder. And I just hope it's a wake-up call to us all. There's an urgency and there's a margin for error that's no longer tolerable. And as simple as that.
Kelvin, you had a chance to review it last year too. What are some of the challenges of stopping the Schottenheimer offense?
Oh, I mean, now what's a little different than before, because Shotty's been on staff there for a while now. He was there with Mike and all that. So he understands it's a lot of the same vibe, but the personnel's different. They've done a great job building that offensive line. That's the initial difference I see when I turn on their tape this year. It's a physical group that's getting movement at the point of attack. And then they did a good job going out and finding the back that I've always had a lot of respect for in this league, and Javonte, since he was drafted out of North Carolina at Denver, and we played him as a young pup. I always knew that was a special kid, man. Barring injury, he's a top back in this league, and they did a good job finding him, and he understands the scheme. His running style, he has 734 yards after contact. There's a lot of plays on tape where guys missing. We don't have the margin for error to miss those plays. So understanding it's a run pass, they keep you off balance 50-50. They know teams going to play with a shell, so that's why they attack you the way they do in the run game. They do a very good job. It's a balanced attack, and I'm looking forward to this challenge.
I can ask one more then. What are your thoughts about Coach Kiffin landing at LSU?
Oh, it's outstanding. I think that Lane, not to get off track, obviously all my sole focus is on the Dallas Cowboys, but I absolutely want to congratulate the new head coach of my alma mater, Lane Kiffin. I think he's going to bring back a championship mentality and a championship atmosphere like it belongs at down there in Baton Rouge.
You said this is exactly where you guys want to be.
Yep.
Can you just expand on that maybe a little bit more before you leave? Outside it seems like the world's falling to some of these Lions fans who don't understand that, maybe this is the NFL.
Yeah.
But why do you guys embrace this moment so much, even though you're sort of, out of the playoff race or out of the playoff?
Because I've been trained and conditioned. The same reason I don't panic when I lose 3 starters on the back end, because I see an opportunity ahead of us. I see an opportunity where we're back in that realm of being doubted. I see an opportunity to where everybody's not looking at us as the class of the NFL. So that's why I say it's right where we want to be, because it's right where I like to live. Right here, just in the back, just laying in the weeds and waiting to bite somebody's ass. So I'm looking forward to this week, and I know our players feel the same way.
Corner, since they've added Quentin Williams, seems like the trade deadline kind of a catalyst for them.
Yeah, I think you really see what they're all about since the last 4 weeks. I mean, they're 3-1. It's the front. Those guys are getting after it. Those 2 guys in the middle. Even Clowney, he's playing at a high level right now. So that's going to be the thing that we have to be aware of, and we are setting the game plan up a certain way, just like we always have. But they are really getting after it up front. That's the way, the Uberflus's defenses have been about. So they did a good job trading for those guys, and it's helped. And they're playing complementary football. So
You guys are a bit down at tight end right now, just personnel-wise.
Just a little bit.
How do you sort of, massage the personnel you have to fit what you want to do?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Next man up, guys are going to get opportunities. I mean, I thought it was great last week. Saint goes down, TK comes in. Man, he did a hell of a job. It was awesome, and it's good to have him. He's a veteran guy, came in, stepped in. Quarterback, he didn't lose a beat, and I thought he did a great job. So it's kind of cool, creating different personnel groupings and trying to get guys in certain spots to get guys open. J-Mo had a great game last week. He stepped up big time. It was great to see that. So, it's tough not having the tight ends that we've had. But, hey, we got plenty of good personnel. I don't mind mixing up the personnel and getting guys in different spots and giving them a chance. It's fun.
John, is Jackson Meek someone that could help you guys at tight end if that's the way you go? Like, is he that advanced yet in his development there that he could contribute on game day?
Yeah, I think at tight end, at wide receiver, I think he can do both, We'll see. We'll see if he has the opportunity to do that.
That pass across the middle that, was kind of behind Jameson, maybe it was a drop, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
How do you classify that as a drop? Is that something he should get?
Yeah, it hit his hands. It hit his hands. Could have been a better throw? Sure. Could he have caught the ball? Sure. And he's caught those. And Jared's made those throws. It hit his hands. Just, Scotty's always said, I coach wideouts. If it hits your hands, you catch the ball. And that was 4th down play. He's probably going to score. It was man-to-man. So the things on, 4th down and 3rd down, it's the same thing that we've been talking about. Man, we do this together. When we do things right, okay, we're damn good. Okay, when we're erring in technique and details and things like that, or it's just one guy, it's tough. It's tough. So that's been the thing. That's what's been going on. So, the guys respond. We did pretty good on 3rd down last week, considering we didn't have a lot of our guys. And it's a tribute to the old line, the quarterback, and those guys coming in, our coaches getting those guys prepared. Those guys had to go in different spots that they're not used to. And I thought it was pretty impressive, So, yeah, it was just a couple of miscues that we had. But it's like that. The game comes down to 4 or 5 plays, every game. And we can't afford to do that. So.
You mentioned the revolving door of issues on 4th down. You guys were toward the top of the league before that Philadelphia game. Then 0-7 will quickly change the stat on you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do as a coaching staff to simplify, to calm the guys down in those critical situations?
No. We had the right plays called, and I just told you, we erred someplace, whether it was a drop, whether it was a throw, whether we didn't do the right technique. It's those things, you know what I'm saying? So we all have our hand in this. And I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned because we got the guys. We got the guys to get it done. So I'm not concerned with that. Now, if it's a scheme issue and stuff like that, I am concerned because that's on us. That's on us. And it's all on us. The whole thing is. And we do this thing together. And I'm not concerned with that. It'll happen. It's going to happen. It's the simplest thing of catching a ball or making the throw or running the right route the right way. It's all those things. It's all the little things. You're playing guys in different spots, and you got some young guys. And there's some things that they haven't, it's a certain technique. They haven't seen it, or a certain coverage that they haven't seen it. That's tough on rookies. It's tough. It's tough to come into this league because you're going to see a lot of different things. So we're always on pinpoint on everything, man. The way we install, when we show the looks, we got to go out and do it. It's tough. Like last week, you have a chance to go practice. You know what I mean? So you don't get it full speed. But that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. So it's like I said before. These guys are not rookies anymore. We're trying to put them in the right position to have success, which we are. We just got to get it done. We got to execute. That's the bottom line, man. You got to execute. You got to execute every play, every single play, every down. Okay, that's what you do.
John, you look at anything to get off to faster starts? Last 3 games, haven't scored in the first quarter, been behind at halftime.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to get that thing moving quicker?
There's things you can do. You can, based on, when you put up first plays of the game, right? You look at kind of what they do in the beginning of a game, all right? And then you go off what you did in practice. Okay, what's good? All right, Hank, this is good. Okay, the passing game, okay, we like this. What's the quarterback like? What is certain running backs like? in the beginning of a game. And usually you want to try to do things that they're not thinking a lot. That's usually what you want to try to do, and that's what we've done. Again, we just erred in execution all around. So I think that's the biggest thing. We talk about things, changing things at halftime, stuff like that. It's the same type of deal. Okay, what are they doing? They doing anything different? No. What do you guys like? When we get together at halftime, it's what do you guys like? What are you guys seeing? We all do it together, put it together. All right, let's go. Let's do this. That's the biggest thing. I think if you can do things in the beginning based on kind of what they do in the beginning of a game, that's the way I've been taught. That's the way I approach it with Dan. I give him all the tendencies and things like that, how they're doing things. And then you go from there. And it might be, hey, quarterback likes this, the running back likes that, the old line likes this play. So you put that in because they like it, so let's go do it. So
I know you don't want to lose any kind of player of Amon-Ra's caliber to potential injury, but how much can it boost Jameson's development getting a handful more of first team or first looks?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think he stepped up last week. The quarterback made some great throws. I think he had 15 completions in a row at one time. And he did a great job. That's what he's supposed to do. We put him in the right spot. The quarterback made the throw. He's a weapon, just like Gibbs is. We've got some guys that are weapons. It's kind of cool. But it was great to see that he did that. He's had a few games now that he stepped up. So I love it. As a receiver, as any player, you build confidence like that. Let's go. It's kind of cool. But some other guys are going to have to step up. You know what I'm saying? So because we're limited in a way.
John, with the ground game,
seemed
like a lot of the fits were pretty good up front, and it was the second level stuff, not getting a body on the linebacker, maybe the running back, the wide receiver not digging out the safety. Was that execution, timing? Were they doing something defensively that was tough to adapt to?
No, they didn't do anything that we didn't practice. It was execution, bottom line. I'll say it again, execution. That's what it was.
Johnson.
Is there anything, just the way sometimes defenses fire, is there anything like
You say fire, you mean?
Yeah, fire downhill, on a run play. Is there ever, something that shows up on film that they're reading something in your tendencies, or is that just the style that certain defenses play?
No, it's just the style. It's depending on the situation, too. If it's second and short, third and short, they're going to be coming downhill. And we do a really good job with our self-scout. But the bottom line is just the execution. Yeah, they can fire all they want, and we have other plays that we're watching the game, and we're looking at what they're doing. But if we don't do the proper technique, the proper block, that ain't going to work. That's what it boils down to. You're watching tape, huh?
Try.
Okay, that's good. We are too.
Just real quick, you mentioned some of the different personnel packages you can use to kind of make up for the tight ends. Dan Skipper is one of the guys who's seen a little bit of an uptake.
Yeah.
And just how valuable is it to have a guy who, like a 6'0" lineman who has so much experience doing that and he can just jump right in?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have him because he has to step up a little bit because of the tight end situation right now. He ran some routes last year. Did you guys see that? I saw it. I saw it on tape. So I'm working with him a little bit. But yeah, I think it's very valuable. You have to do those types of things. You got to have, like I said, different personnel guys. You're down tight ends. All right, you got to go in, or maybe we use two back. You know what I mean? You got to figure it out. That's what we have to do right now. And the good thing is we did those things in training camp, OTAs. Just to prepare us for this moment right now. So, I didn't know we weren't going to have two tight ends, but the guys got to step up.
Some tips for Skipper as a route runner?
Huh?
Some tips for Skipper as a route runner?
Let's go play fast. Big man, react to zone. That's what I always say. Let's get this W, man.
Those types of guys, they can light it up any play. It just takes one of them. When I was in Philly, we had Deshaun Jackson. He was playing a lot on offense. He'd still go back there, and he could still change the game in one play, So you have to take care of him, every one of those, and you got to expect his very, very best, which I'm sure he'll give us.
We didn't talk to you after the Giants game, but I was curious, just talking to Jake about the kick he made at the end of the game. has that interesting right to left curve to it. He said he doesn't want to live in that world, just kind of the way some of his, his tendencies have gone. What is it about the way he kicks the ball that causes that, and how easy is that to get out of his game?
Yeah, I think when the ball moves a little bit, the more the ball moves, probably the higher up you're hitting on the ball. The lower you're hitting on the ball, the more it's just spinning or rotating. But the higher up you hit, the more it moves a little bit left and right. I think the higher up you hit on the ball, the lower the trajectory too at times. So it just kind of depends. But ball contact, foot contact on the ball is going to change how it goes or travels. Now, I would tell you that a lot of kickers, their ball will move very similar to that, little right, little left, especially when they're hitting a hard ball from way back deep. Meaning they're putting a lot on the kick. Not the hardness of the ball, but the how hard they're kicking the ball or putting into the ball from their leg. The more it may move like that a little bit, which obviously on a long kick you have to do. So I would say it was not totally normal, but not totally abnormal either.
You guys had some good kick returns in the last couple games. Just what has the common denominator been?
Yeah, I think we had a punt return and a decent kick return. All those plays come down to, a few things. I think I alluded to going in, or the last time we talked, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Some of it's controlled by the other team and their punter and how he punts the ball to you. Like those guys in the last game punted the ball a little bit further down the field, so obviously it set up more of an opportunity to return it. So I think it's obviously blocking and creating space in the return game for players. And then it's obviously the returner hitting the ball downhill or doing a good job making some guys miss and all that. I thought TK did a great job. He attacked the coverage. He played downhill. He was fast. He was quick. He played with a purpose. He's trying to make it happen. A lot of times you see that when a guy gets an opportunity, which is it's a great part of this game, is there's a guy waiting in the wings, and when he gets his shot, man, he's trying to capitalize and make the very most of it. And I thought he did a good job of that, both on kickoffs and on punts. But anytime one player plays well, that means there must be a bunch of guys around him who've done a good job too. So all the guys blocking for the play obviously helped out a lot.
What kind of has Tom Kennedy be for your special teams unit? Now he's got a chance to be on the
I think you've seen him. I mean, this league's crazy like that. I mean, here's Tom Kennedy. The guy's been up on our roster. He's been down. He's bounced around. He's sat in the wings for a long time. He's gotten his shot on offense and special teams multiple times. I think for the most part, he's gone in there and done a good job. And there's a lot of guys like that, and it's crazy. They're just kind of hanging around. I mean, anybody could take him. He's been on our practice squad. Somebody come in and claim them, put them on their active roster if they wanted. But ultimately, every time he gets a chance to go in the game, he's been productive for us, really probably in both phases, which is great to see. And it's a credit to him. I mean, the guy just keeps grinding away. And this league's full of guys like that who have great stories. They just keep believing in themselves. They keep competing, keep playing. And all those guys can really hope for is an opportunity. You get an opportunity, you go make plays. That's all you can do, which he's done. And then you just have to hope somebody wants you bad enough to put you on their active roster and make you their full-time guy or whatnot. There's a lot to that, obviously. But anyways, I'm happy for him. He's done a great job. He's done a great job for us this whole time he's been here in a lot of ways. The way he practices and helps other guys prepare, talking to other players, young players, and helping them out and letting them learn. So great young man. Did well for us, and obviously we need him to continue to do that.
What is the mood of the team right now? Outside world, there's a lot of people think the sky's falling and things haven't looked as crisp as they did last year. But what is the mood?
I would say. I mean, what's the mood? Guys want to win. I would say that they don't like losing, so that'd be fair to say. I think ultimately, to me, it's really kind of welcome back to reality. I mean, you live in this world where you win 15 games in a year or something. That doesn't happen very often, back to back to back to back. So reality says that you're really never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. You're somewhere in between. Most teams have to fight to get 10, 11, 12 wins in a season, and And anyways, that's where we're at. I think for us in the building, I would say for me personally as a coach, anytime you're going through times where you're not playing as well as you want or you're not winning as many games as you want, I think all too often everyone, well, how can we do this? Well, you do that by executing this, or just take it back down to simple things, man. What you're asking them to do, how you're asking them to do it, how they're doing it, technique, fundamentals, execution. Ultimately, the game comes down to technique, fundamentals, execution, detail, discipline, all those things. And if you're worried about the win or playing great on whatever side of the ball or lighting it up in the return game, or well, how are you going to do that? You got to go back to how. And I think that's like, you know, your process-oriented goals, things that are going to make a difference with the outcome is what you got to focus on. And it's usually a lot simpler than you think. So anyways, for us, all of us, myself included, to go back to that, the basics, just worrying about the things that you can control, whether that be me individually, the player individually, what those guys can control, what they can handle, what they can fix. Just worry about that. And if everybody does a great job of that, we'll get the results that we want.
Dave, on that note, we all know this team hasn't lost back-to-back games in more than 3 years. You've been around this game for a long time, part of lots of different teams and coaching staffs. What about this building or this team is unique that allows this team to bounce back from losses so well?
Yeah, I would say that a big part of that's our head coach. I mean, these guys have a lot of respect for him. And I would also say a lot of that's the players. They have a lot of respect for each other. And sometimes when you don't have that in these buildings, guys are more interested in what they're doing or their numbers or their success or their contracts or whatever that is. When you get individuals worried about themselves, then it gets very difficult. And we don't have that at all. We have great players that are committed to the team and the guy next to them. They play for the guy next to them. We have a head coach, a great leader, and those guys all respect him a great deal. So they're going to make sure they give him also everything they got, which in return makes our job as assistants much easier because those guys give us everything they got, whether it's practice or a game. And if we just give them the right stuff and do a good job coaching, then those guys will perform well and play well. And so we got to do that for them, all of us, myself included there. But yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest part of it. In those other buildings, you know, players, guys are doing their own thing. They're worried about themselves, individuals. It makes it very difficult, and that happens a lot in these buildings. And then obviously if they don't respect the leadership in the building, whether that's the head coach or the GM or the ownership, which I think they clearly do here, then it makes everyone's job a lot easier. And when things don't go well, they don't just fall apart, you know.
I wanted to ask you one about Jack.
Those are my opinions anyway.
Greater percentage of his punts are ending inside the 20 than any point in his career, maybe something to do with just field positioning, kickoffs, whatnot, but 0 touchbacks. You know, how rare is what he's doing, I guess, in terms of controlling that within that range of the field?
Yeah, I think that's been a real positive. You know, touchback's always been something that bothers me because you're just talking about handing field position away. I mean, we talk in this room a lot about, you know that I like the value of a yard, you know, whether that's Khalif returning the ball for 1 yard, even though there's a guy in his face. To me, it makes a difference in the game, and it creates an opportunity for the guys around you. So anytime you're giving away yardage, whether it be penalties, especially penalties in the return game, to me, it's just devastating. You're just handing the other team yards and plays and field position. Ultimately, this game really becomes about field position. I think the inside the 20 thing does have to do with field position. I know I've talked about this, but field position is really controlled by all 3 phases. A lot of people say it's created by special teams, and I don't agree with that. On the kickoff, it certainly is. That's the start of the drive. It's going to start wherever we give the ball to the offense or defense after that play. But the punt play is totally different. If we're punting from way back deep, obviously it's going to be hard to pin them into the 20. So that means if the ball starts deep in our side of the field, our offense is going to have to move it. Well, why did it get back there? Maybe their team punted the ball deep in order for them to punt it deep on us, and they're going to have to move it on our defense. So it's really controlled by all 3 phases. And so anytime I think a unit's playing well in that area, obviously a bunch of it's due to the offense, defense too, and playing the field position game. But he certainly has done a great job putting the ball down in there, and it's been positive because that, when I got here, I don't think was one of his strengths. I don't think he would say that either. And so I think he's definitely improved in that area. This game's hard, man. It's always something you got to work on and get better at. But yeah.